This past week, a young man named Pedro Ruiz and his girlfriend, Monalisa Perez, decided to take a shot at YouTube fame from a very poorly planned and ill-fated stunt that resulted in Pedro Ruiz's death. That did not need to happen. Internet media, as well as the mainstream media outlets that picked up on the story, has been just as shameful as the senseless death of this young man in and of itself. So first thing I'm going to do is tell you who these people were, because this is a story about human life. This is also sadly a story about the stupidity that can drive people to do ridiculous things trying to get famous on the internet. So here you have a young couple that started a YouTube channel in March of this year, La Monalisa. Basically a vlog channel, little videos about their day-to-day life, silly little videos about pranks and stunts, nothing too ridiculous. There was a video where Monalisa put baby powder on a donut instead of powdered sugar. There's a video of Pedro acting like his legs don't work and using a wheelchair or a motorized chair in a supermarket. Videos of the couple's day-to-day life, their 3-year-old daughter, and the story of Monalisa herself becoming pregnant and going through the ultrasound and the things related to being an expectant mom. This is all pretty standard stuff for your typical small YouTube channel. Prior to this week, estimates were that the channel had between 200 and 300 subscribers, somewhere slightly less than 1,000 views total on the channel. The last video posted was from June 22nd. The two documented a day at the local town carnival. They talked about what it's going to be like to be famous on YouTube. They talked about people noticing the camera and asking them if they're YouTubers. There's a video of Pedro typing in the channel name on a young girl's cell phone on the ride in front of them so they could check out the channel. They talked about what it's going to be like when they have 300,000 subscribers and they're throwing parties and being famous. There's nothing unusual or out of line about any of this so far. But apparently over the last several weeks, Pedro had been working on an idea that he was so sure was going to launch them into internet fame and blow up their channel. According to family members, Monalisa wasn't on board with this idea for quite a while. Finally, she relented. This past week, she pointed a .50 caliber Desert Eagle handgun at Pedro's chest while he held up a hardcover encyclopedia. He had finally convinced Monalisa to shoot the gun at the book, absolutely certain that the bullet would be stopped. And with the couple's 3-year-old daughter watching, Pedro Ruiz died. I'm absolutely disgusted. We now have 3 young lives that are destroyed, all for the sake of getting this to make you famous. This did not have to happen. This is not what YouTube should be about. A family member, an aunt, was talking to reporters or media or whoever, said that apparently Ruiz had lots of guns. He liked guns. Pedro had tested this stunt by firing a gun at an encyclopedia and seeing that the bullet didn't go all the way through. The aunt apparently used the word prank when she described what the young couple were doing. That, of course, got picked up by the internet media sources who started saying prank gone wrong. But this is part 2 of this story, and this is where a senseless tragedy becomes even dumber and shows just how bad things are getting when it comes to sensationalizing what happens here on YouTube. I've read dozens of stories posted on the internet about this. The headlines just get more and more ridiculous as you go. YouTuber killed by girlfriend after they tried to make a prank. Wannabe YouTuber star Pedro Ruiz killed by his pregnant girlfriend. Once it made the leap to mainstream media sources, you had headlines like, teen YouTuber shoots and kills boyfriend in stunt gone wrong. Talk about the concept of escalation and the stakes just getting higher and higher. We go from planking to cinnamon challenge where people are choking, salt and ice challenge where people are getting burned, people dangling from high structures, people pouring rubbing alcohol on themselves and lighting it on fire. And now we've progressed to the point where someone literally said, point a gun at me and shoot, I'll be okay. How the hell did we get here? And as bad as that is, and as bad as the media coverage is, and as scary as that makes the culture of trying to get famous on YouTube look, the final straw for me is reading the comments section sections, on news articles, on internet pages, comments on videos, on the actual channel. I don't understand how comment sections on the internet bring out the absolute worst in people, the lowest dregs of humanity, the most petty, low, and vile comments that people make on stories like this. Like the anonymity of that keyboard means that you can just say whatever, get a chuckle, and move along. Does anybody care that a young life has been taken? Does anybody care that a 3-year-old girl watched her mommy shoot her daddy for their YouTube channel? This is not what YouTube should be about. And after all that, here's the worst possible part. The final outcome of someone going so far to achieve YouTube fame is that Pedro Ruiz got exactly what he wanted. Since the story broke earlier this week, people have flocked to their channel in droves. Their channel went from 200 to 300 subscribers to well over 12,000 and counting at this point. That is disgusting to me. Exactly what reward is being earned now for the death of this young man and the destruction of the life of his daughter and her pregnant mother, who, by the way, could face up to 10 years in jail and or a $20,000 fine, all because the pressure of getting famous. Their most recent video from last week is up over 1 million views. The comments section of that video is filled with garbage from people who really couldn't care less about the death of this young man and the destruction of his family's life, and just take that easy opportunity to act like a troll and say something stupid in a comment section. This did not have to happen. All I can think about is what that little 3-year-old girl is going to grow up thinking and remembering, and the trauma that she experienced that day. All I can think is who is going to be the next Pedro Ruiz who's going to try and up that ante and dial up that risk factor in the hopes that their channel will blow up. What are the chances that anyone young enough and dumb enough to be thinking about this is going to be watching some old guy bitch about it on his channel? Well, I hope you're watching, and I hope you're listening. Fame and fortune are not waiting for you on the other side of a gun. YouTube stardom is not waiting for you on the other side of a death-defying stunt. And if you watching this right now know somebody, some young YouTuber, some reckless fool on Instagram, if you see something like this is going to happen to somebody else, please say something. Stop them. We are better than this. We are better than this. We have to be better than this. Because if we're not, then the children of the next generation, Pedro and Monalisa's little 3-year-old daughter, her generation, are doomed to repeat the mistakes. We have to be better than that. Wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, please find someone you love. Tell them you love them. Help them stay safe. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the road.